And speaking of people that don't play defense, James Harden. Listen to what Stephen A. Smith said about James Harden, man. I thought this was interesting.
Come on, y'all. Get it done, you know? And so that's how I feel. I support Dame on that. James Harden's a different animal. And I like James. But James got to be more accountable. You got everything you want. They gave you everything but a pacifier and a bib in Houston. Whatever you wanted, they gave you.
They did.
Everything. Money, helicopter rides, massage therapist, masseuse, hang out at the strip club whenever you want, did everything.
Go to Vegas whenever you want.
Go to Vegas whenever you want. I mean, they gave you everything. And Daryl Morey took care of you.
Right.
To the point where Mike D'Antoni didn't even show negative plays of James Harden when James Harden was in the film room. He showed about everybody else, wouldn't even show him in the film room. This is me covering the NBA. I'm telling you what I know. Then you force your way out. You want to go to Philly because you want to go with Daryl Morey. You want to follow him there. But they say no. So you want to go to Brooklyn. They tell you no initially. You show up to camp out of shape. You make it very, very clear that you ain't trying to do anything because you're trying to get the hell out of town. So they ultimately trade you to Brooklyn. You get in Brooklyn. You force your way out of there because you want to go with Daryl Morey in Philly, which is where you wanted to go all along. Now, although we can't absolve Daryl Morey, if you lied to the man, you lied to the man. Ain't nobody blaming James Harden for that. $20 million back.
No. I'm gonna get this back.
That's right. You know, if you told him that, you owe him that.
Correct.
Period. But why is anybody going to be sympathetic to James Harden with what James Harden has done on 3 separate occasions?
Right.
And now you're doing it a 4th. And you got to remember, when he was in Houston, I want Dwight Howard. I don't want Dwight Howard. I want Carmelo Anthony. Don't want Carmelo Anthony.
Want Russ?
I want CP3. I don't want CP3. I want Russ. I don't want Russ. And not one single championship to show for it. It ain't like you a champion making these demands. You getting paid. You a showstopper. We get it. But you have no championships to show for any of your efforts. At some point in time, somebody got to be willing to say to you, yo, can you give me a little bit more? Oh, by the way, don't get me started with closeout games in the playoffs. Yeah. We just saw what you did in the game 7, 9 points, 3 for 11 shooting in a game 7 closeout game against Boston. You had them for game 6. You were up 3-2 on your home turf in Philadelphia, and look what happened. Those are the kind of things that I'm talking about. And so when something like that happens, man, I can't support that.
Right.
I can like him and be cool with him, but I can't support those
some of the decisions that he's
can't do it.
Stephen A. made a really good point about how his time was in Houston. And it's funny because Kevin McHale was his coach a couple of years in Houston. And Kevin McHale does not have a lot of nice things to say about James Harden when it comes to this his time at Houston. You know, Kevin McHale is on record saying, you know, he was lazy and I think he said what was the exact words he said? He said that Kevin McHale, you got to go to Kevin McHale's interview with Dan Patrick and the things he said about James Harden was not nice, right? So, but he said it in a nice way. He was being honest. But nah, he's pretty much exactly what I just, described Luka as somebody who's not gonna be in tip-top shape. And he's paying for that right now because he keeps having these nagging quad injuries and stuff like that. And he's somebody who's not gonna give that effort on defense. And he's someone who has inflated numbers because he's playing in the style of offense when he was at Houston, where he has the ball with everything at his discretion. However he wanted that play to start and finish was how it's going to start and finish. And it was mostly going to start and finish with Harden. It's going to start with him. Either he's going to take the shot, either he's going to record an assist, right? You do that for 4 straight quarters, you're going to have big numbers, especially when you're as good as Luka, James Harden, because they can score, right? But that's not the best way to run your team. And Stephen A. made a good point. He said, look, he was at Houston. He got Dwight over there to help him out. But then he stopped utilizing Dwight well, and then they got D'Antoni in there, and D'Antoni really is not going to use him well, and they got Dwight out of there. Then they got Melo in there, and they didn't keep Melo, got him out of there. Then they got CP3 in there, didn't keep CP3, got him out of there. Then they got Westbrook in there, didn't keep Westbrook, got him out of there. Got John Wall there, and James Harden quit and said, I don't want to play with James Wall. trade me somewhere else. Went to Brooklyn, decided he didn't want to be there no more because Daryl Morey was over in Philly, probably promising him sweet nothings. Forced his way to Philly, got over there, and now it's Daryl Morey, and it looked like it's Houston again. And what did he do after he finished playing his first year there? You know, I think did he opt into a contract? Played the second year, got Doc fired, and then said Daryl Morey lied to him, and now he want to trade. And I'm trying to figure out what the lie was. Was the lie a long-term deal or contract, or was it? Hey, I promise you, I get Doc out of here and hire D'Antoni, because now we're hearing that James Harden is not just about the money. It's also he wanted to play in a different system, and he wanted to be the guy again. He wanted to go back to Houston, James Harden. So that leads me to believe he possibly wanted D'Antoni back after they fired Doc Rivers. But what they do, they went and got Nick Nurse, which was a good idea. I'd rather have Nick Nurse than freaking D'Antoni. But James Harden wouldn't. He wanted to be the guy again. How you want to be the guy to a much younger 7-foot MVP and Joel Embiid, who's a mismatch whenever he gets the ball? Like, and this is the situation you begged and asked for. You begged Brooklyn to get you up out of there so you can go to Philly. I'm so confused by it, man. So yeah, Stephen A is spot on with that. And I mean, James Harden is going to continue to lose respect around the league. And like I say in the caption, man, the media wanted us to believe Kyrie Irving was this bad person, but this whole time it's been James Harden has actually been the guy that they want us to believe Kyrie Irving is. And I think that's interesting, man. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Do you think James Harden, you think he's ruining his legacy, ruining his career and his reputation? Do you think he'll suit up in Philly? Do you agree with what Stephen A. Smith said? You know, do you agree that every situation that he's been in, he's caused some issues there and tried to get himself out of the situation, or try to get people around that situation up out of there, or fired, or traded, and all this stuff? Like, this stuff is following James Harden everywhere he goes. For that, I think he need to take a chill pill. And I think he need to suck it up and just go back to work, man. Just go back to being a great player and reinvent yourself, and you know, try to go back to Philly and get it done, man. That's what I would do. But I'll catch y'all on the next episode, man. Thank y'all for hanging out with